You are the role model. You are the walking billboard for Islam. Assalamu alaikum. Another episode of ASKSQ. You ask, I respond. That's how this thing goes. And today we have another juicy question. Before we get into that, if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing as we talk about all these topics that are taboo, and they also serve as an iman booster. So let's get into this question. Assalamu alaikum, brother. I'm stuck in a situation where my parents want me to marry my cousin. However, I am not interested. Well, do they know you're not interested? I always ask them that follow-up question. Do they know that you're not interested? And a lot of times they tell me that no, I can't talk to my parents and all this sort of stuff. Then why are you telling me? What can I do for you? How can I help you? If you don't have the courage to stand up and speak to your own parents, don't expect SQ from New York City to come and fly out to Pakistan and speak to your parents. That's not how it works. I'm here to empower you and motivate you, but at the end of the day, if you cannot find the courage to speak to your parents and speak your mind and communicate to them, this entire thing is pointless. So I want to ask you, do they know that you don't want to marry this person? And what have they said now that they know that you don't want to marry this person? My family are really strict on me. I dropped out of school and I don't hang out with my friends and I barely go out because of them. Oh, poor girl, huh? Poor girl. These are realities. I understand that there's a very strict household. I come from Pakistan myself. I know that culture is a big thing in that country, and I understand what you're going through right now. I've seen people get oppressed in this matter, and I've seen parents who are not doing their real jobs and they're actually messing with their children's future. But once again, have you made this clear to them? It seems like you're speaking about how you've made all these sacrifices for them, and now you're asking them, please, Abu, do this one thing for me, listen to me for a change. No, this is not a Bollywood film. If you're not direct with your parents and you're not communicating and speaking your mind with your parents, they're not going to respect you. You can't assume they know what they're doing is wrong. You can't assume these things. You need to be direct with your parents in a very beautiful and respectful manner, by the way. And speak to your parents and explain to them how you don't want to get married to this person. Perhaps you want to continue your studies, or maybe you've met someone else that you like. Scandalous. In my family or culture, you have to marry your cousin. It's unusual for a girl not to marry someone in the family, and this is the problem. The fact that a girl cannot marry someone like who's not their cousin, that's very false. We see on the news so many things that are happening to Muslim people, Muslim girls, acid and raped and all these sort of other things that are going on, but none of these things are a part of Islam. But unfortunately, the Muslim does not realize that you are an ambassador of this religion. You person out there are the face of Islam. Not me, you are. Your neighbors, your community, people know about Islam by looking at you. If you portray Islam in a negative manner, they're going to assume negative things about Islam. So you are the role model. You are the walking billboard for Islam. You are the commercial for Islam. If you treat it wrong, just know that people will have a wrong impression of Islam, and it'll be your fault. We need to do a better job separating culture and religion. Though they're not mixing right now, I can tell you something. Don't know your name, person. I don't know what country you're from, but I'm assuming it's like Pakistan or something like that, because it sounds like a very Pakistani thing to do. This is the exact jahiliyyah that's happening with that young sister named Nora, who is on life sentence right now because she was forced to marry someone that she didn't want to marry, and they ended up raping her. In self-defense, she ended up killing and stabbing her own husband. Parents never had her consent, and she was forced to marry him. Do you, and this is a message to the parents out there, do you want your daughter to end up like this? That's my question to you. Do you want your daughter to be Nora? This person right now is an example for all the millions of Muslim daughters who are being forced to marry someone that is not of their choice. Do you understand how much of a sin this is? Do you understand how much trouble you're causing them and how much trouble you're putting them into? When you held your daughter in your hands, did you tell yourself that I'm going to force this child to marry someone of my choice rather than their own choice? I don't care about their happiness. I don't care what they want to do in their life. You never said that. Wallahi, when you seen them in your hands, you wanted to do everything for them. You sacrificed your sleep for them. Wallahi, you love your daughter. Do not do this, parents. Do not not do this. My cousin isn't attractive and he's older than me a couple of years. Now, obviously, you have every right to choose your spouse of your choice, and you have every right to be attracted to your spouse of your choice as well. However, make sure that you're focusing on the character and conduct of the person. I could understand that if you are telling me his conduct is sort of off, but you have every right to not like him for his looks, that's fine too, but also consider the fact that maybe he's a good person. I don't know, I'm just saying, like, I want to play both roles over here. My parents, my parents tell me he's a good man. However, my cousins that really know him disagree with that, and my cousins tell me he has anger issues and he's abusive. Alert, 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 alert. Parents, if you know this person's abusive, or you're finding out from your daughter or someone else that you need to not get her married to him. It's simple as that. If you know he's abusive and he has an anger issue and he has a short temper, you need to make sure that you tell your parents this. Make sure they know this. Make sure that those friends of yours who know him really well are coming and telling your parents as well. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to your willpower. It comes down to how much you're willing to speak. And wallahi, if you say all these things and you really make your case to your parents and you speak to them heart to heart and face to face and you explain to them what you want to do, and if they still marry them to you, then wallahi, your reward is with Allah. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you upon this. There's nothing I could physically do to your parents. There's nothing that I could do for them. But wallahi, at least you can never live your life with regret. At least you can never say that you never tried. At least you can never live your life with regret, thinking that what if I would have told my parents how I felt. Wallahi, don't live with regret. Speak to your parents. Speak a heart to heart to your parents. But wallahi, speak your mind. Explain to your parents how you feel. If I don't marry my cousin, my parents say I will be an embarrassment to the family and they won't love me or want me. Now, here's the thing. Parents out there, if this is true and you're really doing this, because I've seen those Bollywood movies, I've seen those Pakistani dramas, this is something that really does happen. And parents out there, why are you so worried about what people will think about you, what people will say, what your neighbors will say, what your family would say? Don't you consider what will Allah say? What will Allah say when you are questioned by Allah to how you forcefully married your daughter to someone who she did not want to marry to, not considering her feelings, her emotions, what she wanted, yet selfishly you considered only yourself? Don't you fear Allah? Don't you think that Allah is going to ask you this question? Or are you someone who doesn't have any taqwa? Are you someone who doesn't have any consciousness of Allah? Don't do this to yourself. Wallahi, do not do this to yourself. Fear Allah. Do what's best for your children, not what's best for yourself. That was my advice. I want to know, what would you advise this sister if she DM'd you in your inbox? What would you tell her? I want you to drop your feedback below, inshaAllah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. Jazakallah for watching. You got questions, I got answers. Inshallah, to be featured on the show, just DM me on any one of these social media platforms, inshallah, with the hashtag ASKSQ. Inshallah, until next time, Assalamu alaikum. I'm out.